My name is Tekshua, and I do have my confession that I wish to share with you. And this is my secret, Brother Nashi. If it is possible, do not share the name on my profile because I have not used a ghost account. This is my real profile. I am a 39-year-old man who is living in Johannesburg, and I recently bought a house that I finished building last year. I can say that I am a living testimony, and being in South Africa, it changed my life. I am a man who died for 2 days, and I saw things that some of you will say that it is impossible. I saw ancestors, and I came back to tell you my story. It was in May of 2025. It was a time that I should have been happy, the happiest day of my life. I had just achieved a milestone that many in my family thought that it was impossible. I had managed to buy a residential stand in Harare, and I had finished building my house. For a boy who grew up as an orphan, being treated like a doormat by his own relatives, this was a miracle. And according to our Shona customs, the tradition is that when you achieve something great, you are supposed to call the family together to welcome the blessing. I decided to combine the house. It was a warming party, and I was going to be very happy. I wanted to celebrate my struggles because when I came to South Africa, I came with no papers, with nothing. I started working for 10 years. I had been working and struggling with my wife that I also met in Joburg. My wife, she had been working as a maid in this other area, and I was working just doing some piece jobs. So we were so excited, and we wanted the whole world to celebrate with us. And I did what everyone should have done. I invited everyone. I invited my aunties, my cousins, and people from the village. I even hired a small car to go and fetch people in the villages, those that had said that they did not have the money to come to Harare. I said they need to come so that they can see that God has given us something that is great. I thought that I was the one that had been chosen by God to be the one to break free from the chains of poverty, because in our family there was no one that had ever built a house in the city. Everyone had built their houses in the villages. And when my uncle came, this uncle of mine, I will call him Uncle Joe, he came with his family. They had their own car. Uncle Joe, he lives in our rural home, which is in Domboshava. He is the only surviving father figure left since my biological father passed many years ago. And I once stayed with Uncle John. I will say that when my father passed away, my father died when I was still very young, around 30 years ago. That was when my father passed away, and my mom, she passed away soon after that. My father, he had been working in the mines, and he always bought cattle. Each and every year, he would buy 1 or 2 cows, and he had many livestock that he had. But after he had passed away, that was when my Uncle John, tried to force my mother so that she can become his second wife. Since my mother refused, that was when they chased her away, and they said that you want to make a plan, you have a boyfriend, that is why you have refused to come to become his second wife, and you are not supposed to stay here because you will end up bringing other men into our relatives' bedroom, so you need to go. We will take care of the kids. So my mother, she left us and she got married again, and she forgot about us. Soon after that, she contracted HIV and she passed away, because back in those days there was no medication like there is right now. Having HIV, it was more like a death sentence. And when we were left with our uncle, he pretended as if he cared for us, but it was just a lie. He wanted the livestock that had been left behind by my father, then after that by my mother, when they forced her out of her own house So growing up, we were always mistreated by my uncle. He was someone that was never nice at all. And then I ran away and I came to Harare. I started to stay in the streets. I ended up being a gardener. And when I was all grown up, that was when I came to South Africa. I suffered a lot, brother, even though they are now jealous because of my success that I have found here in South Africa. And it is not even a big success, because I'm still struggling. I am surviving by doing piece jobs, yet they think that I am a millionaire here in South Africa. And when they heard that I was down in South Africa, there were a few of my father's relatives that started to like me, because I wanted something from them. I would send them money and I would give them money so that they can help me when it was time for me to have an ID. I went back home and I was helped by one of my auntie and I got my ID. And then I continued working in South Africa. Whilst we were at the party, I had visited a traditional healer who had warned me. He told me that in my family there is a spirit of poverty, and this spirit of poverty, it was caused by my grandfather. My grandfather, he was a hunter, and he had gone to strengthen himself so that when he go out into the bushes, when he is hunting, he can even catch an antelope using his hands. In our country, most people, they know this spirit as the Shavire Uvimi that assist those that are hunters. And when my grandfather died, one of his son then took some of the items that my grandfather was using and started using them for occultic wealth, or what they call chikwambo or tokoloshi. I did not want to believe it when I was told by this traditional healer that I was not supposed to invite anyone at that house that was related to me, because they were going to sacrifice me. But I said no, I need my relatives to be there. So Uncle Joe came and he was telling me that my house, it did not look modern. I should have called him so that he can try to find someone who was going to have a better plan for my house. The way that he was just saying bad things about everything, it was so unnecessary. But I said, God, you are the one that knows everything. After the party, Brother Nashim, that was when I started to feel so weak in my knees. I don't know why. I felt as if I was about to catch a cold, as if I had flu. Then my head, it felt as if it was being split open by an axe. I collapsed and I was rushed to the hospital. And then there was darkness, or so I thought. I woke up. When I woke up, this is the scariest part. I was in the hospital, but when I woke up, I saw that I was not in the hospital. I was in a world that looked like this one, but it was really different. It was vastly different. It was the land of the ancestors. I found myself, I was in a massive, busy place. It looked like a huge hospital, maybe the hospital where I was, but it was filled with spirits. I saw people who had died many years ago. These people, they were tall, they were like big giants, some of them like the size of a big tree. And when I saw these people that were walking around, that was when I realized that these people that I was looking at, they were our ancestors. And when you die, our spirits, they do not vanish. That was when I saw my father who died 31 years ago. He looked healthy, he was peaceful, and exactly as I remembered him, he was not alone. Other relatives who passed away, they were there as well. They came to welcome me. My father approached me and I saw that he had a plate that was full of wild fruits, and he told me that I was supposed to eat the wild fruits as well as the boiled nuts, peanuts. He looked at me and he said that, my son, I want you to eat this. We have a long way to walk to reach the place where the rest of your kin are waiting for you. This is the land of your forefathers where you will stay forever. I ate the food that they gave to me. This world, it was really beautiful, like something that I had never seen in my entire life. I ate the food that he gave to me. As we started walking towards a distant range of mountains, I could actually see back into the physical world. What shocked me was that there was something that was like a thin blanket that was there between the world that we are in right now and the world where I was. And for you to pass through that thin blanket, it was very difficult. There were those that were standing there that were about to enter into the world that I had found myself in, but they had not yet died. Their spirits were already waiting at the gate. Then there were those, some of them that had been murdered. They kept on walking around because they wanted to return back to the land of the living. I saw my body lying on a hospital bed. To someone who has never had such a vision, it is very difficult to explain. It's like you are in several places at the same time. I knew what other people were saying about me, and I saw myself at the same time lying on that hospital bed. I saw my wife crying. I saw the bad spirits that hang around the big hospitals. Spirits of people who died because they had bitterness in their hearts, and I saw tokoloshis as well as witches that were going around waiting for the perfect time to destroy their enemies, and spirits that had came to collect even their beloved ones. Like a man that was about to die, I saw his wife that had died a very long time ago. She went and she collected his spirit and they went away. I saw spirits of the witches that were trying to capture the soul of another man. My father kept guiding me away from them, telling me about the life after this one. But just as we were about to cross another great boundary, a massive supernatural wind swept through the valley, and it lifted me up and it separated me from my father. I tried to scream for him, but the wind was too strong. I woke up, Brother Nashim, and when I woke up, I saw that I was in the hospital bed with drips in my arms and machines were beeping around me. The doctors were in shock. I had been dead, or I was in a deep unresponsive coma for 2 days straight. They could not explain how I came back. I knew that it was not Western medicine that had done it, but it was that wind in the spiritual realm that had pushed me back to my body because my time had not yet come. I returned back home. And when I returned back home to Mavuku, the spiritual war was just beginning. Not long after I was discharged, tragedy struck. Uncle Joe's house, his son who worked in the illegal gold mine, Emakorokoza or Zamazama, was involved in a fight and he was stabbed to death instantly, and he was stabbed using a screwdriver. But this boy, he was someone that was so scary. He had so much power that he used to fight even with 10 people whilst he was alone. But on that day, the man that stabbed him with the screwdriver, they said that he was just a thin, slender guy. No one even expected that he was going to die. Joe Jr., he was someone that was feared a lot. The strange thing that happened at the funeral, as the body was being prepared, an 8-year-old child in the village was suddenly possessed by the spirit of my deceased cousin, the man that we had gathered for his funeral. The child began to point an accusing finger at Uncle John in a voice that was not hers. She screamed and she screamed and she said, You destroyed this family. You took things that you did not understand, meaning the tokoloshi, the occultic clothes, just to kill your own brother's son because he had bought a house. The spirit of my cousin revealed that Uncle John had used our grandfather's hunting staff to send the illness that almost killed me and his tokoloshis as well. But because I had come back, those spirits of the clothes demanded a blood sacrifice as a payment, and it had backfired on my Uncle Joe's own son. Immediately after that manifestation, Uncle John suffered a massive stroke. Both his legs are paralyzed. He is now a prisoner in his own body, unable to walk or speak clearly. However, the darkness in that house has not ended. His remaining children are now accusing me of being the one who fixed their father. They are claiming that my success, the simple success that I have in South Africa, is what brought this curse upon them. Our house, our family, there is no one who wants to speak with me. Last month, the child who had been possessed by my cousin's spirit almost died mysteriously after a very short illness. It's like this tokoloshi is eating anyone and everyone that is involved in this mess. I am standing before you today as a man who has seen both sides of the veil. I went and I saw the things that happen in the spiritual house. I have a house. Me and my wife, we suffered. We are still suffering, working hard here in South Africa. I want to thank God that God protected me when he saw that people were about to kill me. He protected me even though I died and I woke up. The doctor said that I did not die, but I was in an unresponsive coma, and I am grateful each and every day that I have my life back, but I have no peace. My family is like a spiritual battlefield. Uncle John is lying there in his stroke and he is cursing me. Those occultic demons, they are still hidden somewhere in our village in Domboshava. And as long as those occultic things still exist and the altar is not broken, the blood is going to be spilled. For these tokoloshis, they still want blood. I am reaching out to you, Brother Nashi, and to the people who listen to your programs. I am looking for a real helper, someone who can handle this without making things worse. I have traveled to many places, but I am tired of these fake prophets of doom that you find here in South Africa. The fake healers who just want money, who give you ritual conditions that end up enslaving you even more. I need a man or a woman of God or a traditional healer that has clean hands who can help me bring this whole truth to light. I want those clothes to be found, the altar to be destroyed. I want my family to be free from this curse that has turned our family into a graveyard, because even this year there is someone that is supposed to die still. I am willing to go anyway, to a church or to a traditional setting, provided the help is clean. I don't want anything that has side effects. I don't want to be told to kill a chicken or a goat to save my life. I want the power of truth to break the chains of Uncle Joe's jealousy. I know some will say that maybe in South Africa there is a traditional healer that assisted you. No, Brother Nashi, there is no traditional healer that has assisted me. I am a hard-working person, always going around trying to make the situation better for myself and my family. Some of you will say, how about this vision that you had? If it was you just hallucinating, maybe you were on a medication that made you to hallucinate. The things that I saw in that vision, they were too real to be fake. Some of you will say that I am crazy, but I saw my father who died 30 years ago. I saw my father the way that he was. When I last saw my father, he was very sick and ill, and I was still very young, so much that I am even beginning to forget his face. But in that vision, I saw his face clearly. He gave me food. and he told me that I belonged here. It was not yet time for me to join my ancestors because the place is still being prepared. My life is a testimony that the spiritual world, it is real, witches are real, but I believe that there is a power that is greater than the tokoloshis. Please, if you know someone who can help a man like me, please help me, because I'm being told that as things go, I might die even this year or in 2027. That is the curse that my uncle has placed upon me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Can you believe it? Let us talk about this in the comment section.